Okay, objective 2 is to use the order of operations. So now we're going to use the order of operations we just learned to solve some problems, to simplify problems, okay, or to find an answer. So first thing I want to do is write down PEMDAS over here again so we remember. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. First thing we look for is grouping symbols, okay, parentheses, brackets, braces, or division bars. Well, I've got parentheses right here, okay. Everything else that isn't parentheses, now notice I underline it. I want you to underline what you're doing first here. So I'm just doing parentheses. So everything that's not underlined stays the same. So I have 20 minus 2 times 3 squared, a plus sign, and then now 7 plus 8 is 15 divided by 5. Okay? So I'm done with parentheses. There's no more. Now I do exponents. So I'm going to underline my exponents. Everything else stays the same. So I've got 20 minus 2, a times sign, and 3 squared. That means 3 times 3, that's 9. The rest of the stuff stays the same. Okay, now I've got multiplication and division from left to right. Okay, so I'm looking left to right here. The first thing I see is multiply. So I'm going to multiply. And I also have a division here. Okay, well I'm just going to go left to right now. So I do 20 minus 2 times 9 is underlined, so I'm going to change that. 2 times 9 is 18. Plus, and then 15 divided by 5 is underlined because we got division. So I'm going to go ahead and do 15 divided by 5, and that is 3. Okay, now I've got addition and subtraction from left to right. So looking at the left first, I got 20 minus 18. So I'm going to do 20 minus 18 and get 2. And 2 plus 3 is 5. And there's my answer. Okay, now I want you to show your work like this. I want you to underline the step you're doing every time. Okay, so very first thing you're going to need to do is write down the problem as it looks. Underline what you're doing every single step and show all your steps all the way down until you get to your final answer. Okay, let's move to another example. Okay, here's example 4. So again, we're still using PEMDAS. So I'll go ahead and rewrite it over here again. So first thing we need to look for is parentheses, brackets, braces, or fraction bars. Okay, division bars. Well, we'll underline. Okay. First thing I need to notice though is I've got braces. Well then inside those braces I've got brackets. And then inside those brackets I've got parentheses. Okay, so I've got to go with the inside one first. So my first move should be to do this. The 5 minus 3. Okay, well everything else stays. So 10 minus, I'm going to keep my brace. 8 minus, keep your bracket. 6 minus, and now 5 minus 3, the parentheses we're going to do, that's 2. And then I have to keep my bracket and my brace. Okay? Well, now again, I still look inside my braces. Okay? And inside those braces, I've got brackets that I have to do first. So I'm going to do those brackets first. Again, underlining the step we're going to do. Everything else stays, so 10 minus brace, I got 8 minus, and then 6 minus 2 is 4. And then my brace. Now, I can't remember if I said this on another slide or not, so I want to take this opportunity right now to say this. When I underline something, okay, that gets rid of that, okay? I'm simplifying this. So notice I don't have brackets anymore, okay? Just like up here, when I did my parentheses, I lost the parentheses. I did 5 minus 3 and got 2, and that got rid of my parentheses and the 5 minus 3. Okay, I changed that. So then, when I did my brackets, I did 6 minus 2 and got 4. That got rid of my brackets because it changed. So now, I've still got to do the braces. So I've got 10 minus, and then this move is going to get rid of the braces. So 8 minus 4 is 4. And now my braces are gone because I simplified inside of those. Alright, and the last thing I have to do is 10 minus 4, and I get 6. Okay? Alright, let's go on to another example. Okay, here's example 5. We got 3 parts to this example. So these ones are a little bit different here, a little bit tricky. So, A, we're going to rewrite the problem first. It says the absolute value of 2 minus 7. First thing we have to do is what's inside the absolute value signs. So we're going to do 2 minus 7. Okay? So I'm going to keep my absolute value symbol, and 2 minus 7 is negative 5. Well, then they want to know what's the absolute value of negative 5. That means how far away is negative 5 from 0. That answer is 5. Because remember, absolute value is always positive. Alright, let's try B. Rewrite the problem first. First thing we need to do when we have square root signs is do what's under the square root. I'm going to keep my square root sign, and 9 plus 16 is 25. Now remember, Mr. Ayers wants you to show your work on these, so square root of 25 means what times itself equals 25. And that answer, again, is 5, because 5 times 5 is 25. Alright, let's try C. First, rewrite the problem. Okay, so fraction bar. Again, fraction bar kind of acts like parentheses. So when I did the fraction bar, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this. Oops, should be 12 times 12 over 3 plus 3. So the fraction bar is going to divide these things up. Okay? So what that means is I need to do the top first, because there's parentheses there now. Okay? Because the fraction bar acts like parentheses. Well, 12 times 12 is 144. I'm going to keep my fraction bar the same. And then, on the bottom, I've got 3 plus 3 in parentheses, so I have to do those too. That is 6. Okay? Now, this says 144 divided by 6. So now I'm just going to take 144 and divide it by 6. 6 goes into 14 twice. And 6 goes into 24 4 times. So my answer is 24. Alright, and let's go on to our last example. Okay, so example 6 has 2 parts. Okay, it says consider this expression. Part A says, as written, this expression equals what number? So that just means they want us to use the order of operations to solve it. And see what we get. Okay, well, I've got no parentheses. I've got no exponents, so next is multiplication and division. We do those from left to right. So I'm going to do a multiplication, and I've also got a division here. Okay? So everything else stays the same. So I've got 3 plus 3 times 3 is 9, minus, and 3 divided by 3 is 1. Now I've got addition and subtraction. I do those from left to right. So first I'm going to do 3 plus 9 and get 12 minus 1. And 12 minus 1 is 11. Okay? Part B says copy the expression and place one pair of parentheses so the expression equals 3. And then justify your answer. Okay? So the first thing we need to do is rewrite the problem again. Now, okay, this is kind of a guessing game. We want to put parentheses somewhere so that if we solved it, the answer would equal 3. Okay? So, for example, if I put parentheses around 3 plus 3, okay? So let's say I rewrote the expression like this. 3 plus 3 in parentheses times 3 minus 3 divided by 3. Well, if I solved this, I would do 3 plus 3 first. Oops, sorry. I would do 3 plus 3 first. Okay? That's 6. Then I would have a multiply. Okay? So then it would look like this. It would be 6 times 3 minus 3 divided by 3. Well, now I've got times and divide. So 6 times 3 is 18, minus 3 divided by 3 is 1. 18 minus 1 equals 17. Okay? Look at the example. It says it needs to equal 3. So this one does not work. Okay? So that would not work, for example. So, again, it's a guessing game. So we need to just kind of guess where the parentheses would go. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you on this one, okay, means just for sake of the video time here, I'm going to stop guessing, and I'm going to tell you that the parentheses would need to go around the 3 minus 3. Okay? Okay, and it says it wants us to justify our steps, so they want us to actually solve this. Alright, well the first thing I would do, let's actually move that a little bit, okay? First thing I would do is inside the parentheses, so I'd have 3 plus 3 times 3 minus 3 is 0, divided by 3. And justify means just tell me what you did. Well, I simplified the parentheses. Okay, that's what I did. So we're writing our steps, why we were able to do it. Well, we know the next thing that I would do is multiply and divide left to right. Okay, so I've got 3 plus 3 times 0 is 0, and 0 divided by 3 is 0. So that makes 0 right there. Notice I used all of that. I did the multiply and divide in one shot. So we got multiply and divide left to right. Okay? And now, the last thing I need to do, and Mr. Ayers is almost out of space, so the last thing I need to do is do 3 plus 0, and that is 3, and I added. Okay? So our answer should be 3. I know it's kind of a lousy looking 3, but Mr. Ayers is out of space on his screen, so that answer should be 3 down there. So again, when they want you to put parentheses somewhere, they're trying to figure out where can we put parentheses to get the answer. Again, it's kind of a guess and check method. Okay? And then when you solve it and they ask you to justify your steps, that means write down what you did, okay, and why you were able to do it. If you have any questions, ask. Otherwise, good luck on your homework.